this. Is there anyone in here who's ever been a manager in their job?
Oh, it's here. Oh, here.
For everyone else, have you worked for a manager? If you were to think about how you perceive the definition of a manager as opposed to a leader, what would you say? What would you say defines, it maybe is the difference for you between a leader and a manager? Anybody?
The leader has a goal, has a dream of where he wants to head towards. A manager makes it happen.
A leader says, you go, and leader says, let's go, and a boss says, you go.
I like it. I like it.
A leader could be anyone. It doesn't have, a manager may or may not be a leader, but a leader can be anyone.
Exactly.
It could be the housekeeper. She could be leading a community. She could be leading anything. A manager may or may not lead anyone, and nobody's a leader without a follower.
Right.
And,
So,
and
teamwork.
as a leader, I've always gotten 150% from my staff because I trust what they do, and so they tend to follow. But I don't manage and oversee them. I let them lead themselves.
The leader does not micromanage.
Right.
A manager might.
I love it. I love it. You said everything I'm about to say.
You know how to do sweet, okay?
You all know what we're talking about here.
Yes, we do.
Patricia handed out just a little takeaway for you that I found to give you 10 leadership tips for later as a volunteer leader, and that's what Toastmasters is. We are all in a volunteer nonprofit organization. We don't have the power to tell people to do anything. And that's what a manager does. A manager says, this must be done at this time, and if you want to keep your job, you will do it, whether you want to or not. A leader, as George pointed out, and you'll find this not only in Toastmasters, but we practice it a lot in Toastmasters, especially for those of you who have worked on high performance leadership projects. The number one thing, the first thing in that manual is create your vision, right? What is it that you want to accomplish and that you want your team to accomplish? This year, as the district director, the trio decided that our vision was every member deserves to belong to a distinguished club. And I know for people who aren't in Toastmasters, that might not mean a lot right now. Being a distinguished club means that you're meeting the goals of your membership, that your club is thriving, that you are gaining more members than you're losing, that everyone's reaching their goals. That's where we want to be. We want every member to get the maximum benefit from the program, so we need every club to be a distinguished club. And when we started to talk about that to our leadership teams, they caught the fire. It was as if they said, amen. And the reason why I know that is because I heard it at mid-year training last year. It's the first time I'd ever heard it. And a gentleman from I don't even know where stood up giving a speech, and he said that line, and it was as if a light bulb went off. And I thought, exactly. Why haven't we been doing that? And we came back from mid-year training, we decided that that's what our goal was this year for District 39, was for every member to belong to a distinguished club. To get to that goal, to get everybody on board with that vision, does not just happen by accident. I believe this is one of the tips on your paper. I will say that in 7 to 9 minutes, I can't tell you every single thing I've learned in 6 years, but I will say the top 3. And the first one is decide what your vision is. Feel it deep down. Don't let it be something that you maybe you wish to happen. It's got to be something that you are passionate about, that deep within you feel strongly about. And the reason it needs to be that is because, as Jean pointed out, anybody can be a leader, which means you don't normally have any kind of training, right? Toastmasters, where leaders are made, we are turning into leaders while we're going through the program. In order to work with a large group of people, or a small group of people, in my opinion, one of the single most important key ingredients is humility. The reason being is, as a volunteer or as the housekeeper or as an uneducated whatever, you're probably not going to be the most anything on your team except the most excited and the most passionate about your vision. You're going to need that team to help you. As a district director, there's a lot that I do not know. I don't know anything about technical anything. George is the webmaster, he knows what I'm talking about. We have teammates that know everything about Excel spreadsheets. They know everything about interpolating information. They just whip it out like that, and I'm standing there like it's like I'm in the dust. So I need to remember, and we all need to remember, that it's okay to admit what you don't know. The reason why is because that frees your team to also admit what they don't know. So now everybody on the team is on an even playing field. This is what I love about this setup. I'm not a big fan of let's sit in the front as the team leader and everyone's sitting there. I do like the Knights of the Round Table configuration, right? Because on a team, people are equal. Yes, they have different skill sets, right? Somebody's going to be better at this or somebody's going to be better at that. But they really are, as far as teammates, all equal. And you need to have a vision that you're passionate about. You need to have humility, especially in a volunteer organization. The third key ingredient, above all else, is you have to believe. Not only in your vision, but in your team. And I will tell you that there have been many times in clubs and in the district when people would say to me, you're never going to reach that goal. That club of 3 members is never going to reach President's Distinguished. I am the first person to say, you want to bet? I believe that anything can happen. Even if what we started out at, we may not reach in the end, it doesn't matter to me, because the road that we took to get there absolutely changed everybody's lives. One of our teammates today sent me a message, we're losing all these clubs, and I said, great! This is the opportunity of a lifetime, because now what's going to be left over are the super strong clubs that can all be distinguished, and we're going to build more clubs that are equally as strong. That is what the leader does. The leader always believes, is always positive, always sees that the team can reach the goal and can achieve the vision, even if what you end up with isn't exactly what you thought you were going to get. Again, we've passed out 10 tips. There's a heck of a lot more that goes into being a leader than these 3. But if everything that I have learned in this fabulous journey that has been trio member in District 39, having a vision, being humble, and believing in your team are absolutely key. Madam Toastmaster.
That's that.